Alright, so this is a suggestion via Patreon. The name of the video is Funny Things You Were Guilty Of in the 1970s. So this is coming from the channel Recollection Road. Let's go and check it out. You guys are wild, alright? From what I've seen, at least recently, in some of these videos here, the 1970s was a wild time, guys.
There are many things about each decade that are regrettable. Many of us became wrapped up in a fad or two that we wished we would have skipped over. The 1970s especially was filled with some embarrassing but memorable ones. So let's revisit some of these funny fads that many of us were guilty of taking part in during the 1970s.
Let's do it.
In America, anyone can be successful, and if you want proof, take a look at Gary Dahl, the inventor of pet rocks. The advertising executive came up with the idea while drinking with his buddies, and the idea became a fad that sold upwards of 100,000 units per day.
Guys, this would have been a business to get in on. I can definitely tell you the operating costs were probably nothing. Was it like rocks from the backyard, or were they specialized minerals, or like what exactly? Like what did you do? Did you take your pet rock on a walk? Guys, did you go on vacation with it?
The idea was simple: a rock, a cardboard box designed to look like a pet carrying case, and a pamphlet of tongue-in-cheek instructions.
Okay.
The pet rock appealed to those with a sense of humor for sure, but for only about 6 months. After Christmas 1975, sales fell and the rocks were discontinued. But by then, Gary Dahl had sold over 1 million pet rocks for $4 each, making himself a millionaire.
Hey, listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
There were a lot of clothing options in the 1970s,
model.
and yet many of us still chose polyester. The synthetic material made owning a leisure suit or a safari jacket attainable for many disco fans, and we own them in just about every color and pattern. The casual polyester suit look became even more popular after John Travolta showed up wearing them on the big screen in Saturday Night Fever. But if you have ever worn polyester from the 1970s, you know it was a heavy and hot material that was known for being somewhat slick and shiny looking. But despite this, it was still the go-to choice for anyone who wanted to be cool in the 1970s. Honor your past by securing your future. Recollection Road believes it's important to invest in gold and silver, especially now. Visit rrforgold.com to find out why Goldco is a top-rated precious metals company that offers a free wealth protection kit explaining how you can safeguard your savings and protect your retirement.
Like, I'm fully aware this is obviously like an ad just placed inside the video, but I agree fully with him. If the more bullion you can basically hold on to, most likely the better, right? But that's hard to say in these times, bro. All right.
Visit rrforgold.com to learn more about the benefits of including gold in your investment portfolio.
Like for right now, like silver is super low right now. And I'm being honest, it probably shouldn't be as low as it is. That's a solid investment. I'm not giving you investment advice, obviously, but silver is low, guys.
Fantasy programming on television was a staple of the 1970s, and
like these small, like troy-ounce silver bars. Yeah.
Nobody did it more unusually than brothers Sid and Marty Krofft. Big puppet heads, vivid colors, and low-budget special effects were the calling card of shows like H.R. Pufnstuf, Land of the Lost, and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Some suggested the shows were the product of heavy drug use, but the creators have insisted the fantastical and sometimes creepy puppets were just part of their imagination. As a kid during the 1970s, especially since most homes only had one TV, there is no doubt you found yourself watching the strange worlds created by Sid and Marty Krofft.
Yeah, that's nightmare stuff. That's the fuel of nightmares right there. Right? What's on the screen right now? This woman's face right here. It's nightmares. This is not funny to me. I look at it and I'm scared.
Mood rings were apparently filled with thermotropic liquid crystals, and their molecular structure would change based on temperature. So supposedly you could tell when someone was feeling nervous, excited, or even romantic. This had all the teenagers scrambling to get them, especially the girls. Most of the time, they were a neutral green color, but as temperatures changed, they could range from violet, blue, green, yellow, or brown. Even if the rings didn't reflect your true mood, they were still fun accessories to wear in the 1970s.
Learned about these in the last video.
Sometime in the late 1960s, it was decided that kitchen appliances in America should be either avocado or harvest gold in color. And during the 1970s, this really took hold. The 70s became known for more earthy tones, and there was no better example of this than in the kitchen. Stoves and refrigerators, made by all the manufacturers, transitioned away from the colorful pastels of the 1950s, and people started updating their kitchens with more natural colors, which included avocado and harvest gold. Were you guilty of outfitting a kitchen in these colors? The first episode of Saturday Night Live premiered on October 11th, 1975, and the show instantly made stars of their not-ready-for-primetime players. Comedy rebels like John Belushi, Bill Murray, and Gilda Radner kept us up late with their hilarious sketches. Another skit in particular starred Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin, playing two Czech brothers, constantly trying to get together with swinging American foxes. It was a solid parody of the kinds of characters you might actually find in a 1970s nightclub. The Wild and Crazy Guys skit.
Swinging American foxes. Bro, I think I know what swinging is, right? But foxes? Why animals? I mean, I guess it was really a wild time, right? You're bringing animals into the, never mind.
Had everyone imitating the catchphrase around the water cooler on Monday mornings.
I don't want to think about it.
During the 1970s, if your shirt wasn't unbuttoned all the way down to your navel, you were doing it wrong. The look was definitely on the casual side, and it did an exceptional job of showcasing your hairy chest. If it was good enough for Burt Reynolds or Barry Gibb, then all 1970s men should follow suit. Looking back...
Bro, I have no hair in my chest.
Maybe it wasn't the best look.
Or my back. Completely smooth.
Especially when coupled with those floppy collars and leisure suits. Following a 1973 overhaul, the game show Match Game moved to CBS and became the raunchy, hilarious free-for-all we remember today. The show was about two contestants trying to win money by matching answers with a panel of celebrities. But really, it was about...
Guys, I'm almost positive this man is famous. This one right here, I think I recognize him. This is the from Little House on the Prairie. I think I recognize her too, but I have no idea. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, I recognize her too, but I have no idea where from. And the rest of these people, I have no idea who they are. Right? But I think he's famous, and most likely she's famous, but I don't know where from, again. I know he's the father from Little House on the Prairie, though. Absolutely.
About the one-liners delivered by the likes of Brett Summers, Richard Dawson, and the always outrageous Charles Nelson Riley. The bawdier, the better. And although Match Game looks seriously dated today, it still manages to deliver some solid laughs and was a guilty pleasure for many back in the 1970s.
Wait, is this Betty as in like Betty White? Is that what that is, guys? Maybe, potentially. I think so. I'm going to say more than likely.
The 1973 oil crisis hit wallets pretty hard, and filling up larger vehicles took its toll on many Americans.
So let me guess, the price went up to like maybe 50 cents?
So some of them switched to compact new cars, like the Ford Pinto, the AMC Gremlin, and the AMC Pacer. Unfortunately, whatever they offered in mileage, they lacked in design.
Yeah.
The Ford Pinto was infamously explosive. The Gremlin handled terribly,
really?
and the fishbowl-like Pacer is widely considered one of the ugliest cars ever made.
I'm being honest, all three of those cars are probably the ugliest cars ever made. Just all three of them together. The Gremlin, I think it had a little bit more going for it at least, right? It had some potential. I didn't know that the Pinto exploded, though. That's pretty crazy. But, you know, listen.
Thankfully, all three of these models were short-lived,
right,
and manufacturers recognized their mistakes, stopping production of them by 1980. In the late 1970s, an unlikely superstar began touring the country, with exhibitions attracting a sold-out audience. The Treasures of King Tut, the Egyptian boy king, whose lavish tomb was discovered in 1922, went on a U.S. tour starting in 1976. And it was so successful, it lasted into the 1980s. The exhibition created such a buzz, King Tut and Egyptian culture was showing up on TV, in movies, and in music. Who could forget Steve Martin's costumed SNL performance of King Tut in 1978? Not to mention, many of us were guilty of owning at least one King Tut t-shirt, too.
I have a King Tut tattoo.
Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to sign up for the Recollection Road newsletter using the link in the description.
All right.
If you enjoyed this video,
All right, this was a good one. There's nothing crazy that we haven't actually encountered. The whole polyester suit thing, I can't imagine. I mean, I understand different times, right? And then these kitchens. Hold on, where's a kitchen? We're getting there. These kitchens. Listen, with it looking new, I think that it's somewhat attractive with it new. Keep in mind, millennial here, looking at houses, obviously, pretty much often, right? And we run into, obviously, kitchens that look similar to this, kind of like right now. And we're just like, ew, this looks disgusting after, I guess, 50 years. Of course it wouldn't look amazing, right? And so my experiences with these type of kitchens are right now. And they're not very appealing. But looking at it where everything is brand new and kind of shiny, I can see why this was somewhat appealing. It's not for me, obviously, right? But I can see why it's appealing. I can. These earth tones and things, they're cool. But all right, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.